Hi Aquarius, welcome to the channel. I'm trying to put a little more light for this one. It reminds me to try to play with the energy of the harmonica notes. Cut up there on that end a little bit. That was drawn out a little bit. So fixed energy. Similar to Leo season. Aquarius, so the fixed air, the still air. Can I go to cards for Aquarius, please? So Aquarius in the present energy of the King of Wands in the reverse. So maybe feeling like sort of a ruthless energy, having like really high expectations about something. Wand energy, the fire, Leo season. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, but also by Saturn. So while there's a rebelliousness to and an innovation, certainly like creating new structures to Aquarius, there is more of that fixed energy, or some of that fixed energy of Saturn, and there is still like that Saturnian constriction and sort of crystallization energy, and just having high expectations of either yourself or of the people around you, maybe both. And so this can just kind of like feeling like a sense of like ruthlessness, or just like essentially what I already said, just having like high expectations, a passionate energy, but in a way that might not necessarily be like always productive and can sometimes burn. And the challenge energy for you in the present moment is the Three of Cups. So maybe like feeling challenged by wanting to have fun with friends and celebrate and get together with groups. Could have to do with like a third party situation, like in a relationship, and it could be a romantic relationship, but could be any kind of relationship. And this is sort of about wanting, like possibly wanting to have that celebratory energy, or having that celebratory energy around you, but maybe not necessarily feeling like that is what you need or want in the current moment. And so this energy of like getting together and celebrating is actually like feeling like a challenge right now. And maybe that's because you're sort of feeling like some of the what could possibly be interpreted as some of the lower vibe of that fire energy of just like expecting too much and like in an unrealistic way. In the recent past, the Empress in reverse. So the Empress feels fertile and abundance. It's in the divine feminine energy, but recently maybe feeling like a lack of energy, or not necessarily feeling like you recently having not felt like you're in your energy of maximum abundance and fertility, whether that means even just like spiritually or socially, just not feeling like you're sitting in your abundant feminine side of your energy. And then moving into this energy of feeling like you're really kind of maybe being like hard on yourself and stuff, or on other people. And then in the near future, you have the Three of Pentacles and Upright, which is like collaboration in work or on a project with other people. So maybe in the near future, you will be getting together with people on some new idea, or joining a new team of people in your work. And that's just kind of the energy that's going on for you. But I'm interested that you have the challenge energy of the Three of Cups, feeling like, as your challenge, because maybe you're about to be entering into new like work collaborations with people, but the challenge is maybe that you're wanting to have more of the celebratory energy, just like having fun. And Aquarius is the water bearer, and so maybe wanting to have like more of this fun type of energy. But also working towards in the near future, like maybe getting together with people for a new work opportunity instead or in addition. In the conscious energy is the Knight of Cups in the upright. So giving others and being given the opportunity to take control over your emotional life. So being like emotionally having like control of your emotional landscape with like a passionate energy, like maybe with your love relationships or your friend relationships, like really being the water bearer here with the Knight of Cups in your conscious energy, and like wanting to deliver this cup of divine love and creativity, and moving towards new creative opportunity and love relationship. So really being in the energy of you bearing that cup of water. And in the subconscious energy is the Five of Cups in the reverse. So a lot of cup energy here. This is about forgiving yourself, forgiving other people, and moving on. So while you're sort of feeling like a sense of ruthlessness and high expectations in the subconscious energy, you're really trying to like move on from something and forgive. It's beautiful, very healing energy with Chiron having gone into retrograde. In the advice card is the Six of Wands in the reverse. So this was the energy for the surrounding energy of Capricorn in the previous reading. Saturn, is also related with Capricorn, maybe more primarily than with Aquarius, especially as, we discovered the outer planet of Uranus. And so the advice here is to allow yourself, I guess, to experience like a fall from grace or a certain sense of egotism around what you're going through. But this is the advice instead of the surrounding energy and what you're doing. So to allow the exploration of that fall from grace, or what the fall from grace means for you, or what being too much in your ego means for you. That can also be, the advice card isn't always, just, again, kumbaya, everything's, happy, hunky-dory, and lovely, and that is how we, learn every lesson. Sometimes we learn our hardest lessons the hard ways, and so the advice is to, if you are experiencing some sort of sense of a fall from grace, or like you didn't necessarily accomplish something out in the public sphere as you had hoped to, this is, just saying like that's sort of like the energy right now is that you are maybe supposed to be exploring. The energy surrounding you right now is the Hermit card in reverse, so this is a very spiritual energy. We're about to enter Virgo season, which is the Hermit card. In the reverse, this is about somebody who is really going on the spiritual journey, finding their inner light, finding the greater light, but in the reverse, maybe taking like too much time in solitude. Aquarius can also kind of be the ghost, so can kind of feel isolated, be isolated by other people, but also maybe like isolate themselves by going on the spiritual inward journey for too long or too much, or not necessarily at always like the right times. And so you're sort of feeling like I don't know if it's lower vibe, but the more internalized vibe of the Hermit, where it's just like kind of feeling like a sense of isolation on your spiritual journey rather than solitude, perhaps. And maybe that's why it's feeling like challenging energy to have this Three of Cups, because maybe this is what you're wanting, like the celebratory, fun, water bearer energy, but you're sort of feeling right in this moment, in this healing energy moment, more, especially if your advice is to explore this fall from grace, or the sense of egotism that you've been working with, is this is energy that's more surrounding you, is that like maybe feeling like isolated in that, but wanting to feel this more celebratory energy. In the hopes and fears placement, I would call this fear is like some sort of sense of injustice. So this, interestingly, this was the challenge for Capricorn in the previous reading. So they do kind of like blend together. There really is like an orb of the movement, like of the planets through the signs. It's not just like stop and start. Some people don't believe in like cusp birthdays, that people born at the cusp have a little bit of each kind of sign season in them for that placement. But there is sort of like an orb around the way that the planets move, and like a certain strength of conjunction, or different placement where they're at a more exact angle from each other in like a certain dimension. So I don't know, I think that it makes sense for some of this to have come up in different placements but similar energies from the Capricorn reading. So fear maybe about some legal involvement literally, or it's a Libra moon right now about to be Scorpio, but this is the Libra card. So a fear that like there's some sort of like major injustice that has been done or that will be done to you, that you will cause to someone else, and someone else has caused to you, but the fear of just like some major injustice having happened, and maybe feeling like you're not going to necessarily get your due for the work that you've put in. And the outcome of this whole energy is the Leo season energy, which is patience and taming the beast, and really taking control of the sense of your beast, and like having like a patient, loving, courageous way in which you are performing that action. So if you're feeling like this ruthlessness, you're also like really working in your conscious energies to like forgive and to offer love. And that takes a great deal of gentle, patient strength. Strength isn't always just like brute force and stuff. So like you will find strength in this Leo season, the lion, but also the spine and the courage and the heart. So in your future, maybe like working into a new collaboration with other people, not necessarily feeling like you're coming out of this period like where you weren't necessarily feeling like fertile, independent, feeling like you're being a little harsh with yourself. The advice is to really explore that sensation of like being stuck in the ego. Really, Capricorn Saturn, which is associated with Aquarius, is related to kind of our super ego. So like allowing yourself to explore the over egotism of what can be sometimes Saturn. Feeling a little bit isolated as you go on this journey, fearful for a major injustice to have happened, but at the end of this you are going to find courage and gentle strength in the work that you're doing. A lot of healing energy. I like these Chiron and retrograde readings because there's obviously like a little bit of stress, but also sort of like clear opportunities for next steps. Cards for Aquarius. So first, vacation. So maybe you're taking a vacation, or it'd be helpful to take a vacation to like work through some of these energies. Interesting that an Aquarius who I know is on vacation right now. You'll be playing a different role. So it looks like moving into this new collaboration, especially how it has to do with like career or work or partnerships or related to a project. So you'll be playing a new role, maybe getting work into a new occupational space. And Apple temptation will test you. Maybe that has something to do with the challenge of this Three of Cups, like maybe like being in a partnership, being interested in other people as well, which is, really fairly natural, can be a natural thing. But temptation can have to do with a lot of things, with our battle with, or journey with the ego, the self, with friendships, with family relationships, wanting to react a certain way, but then, choosing not to if we can control that temptation. And the outcome of this is control of temptation, is controlling of the beast. So temptation will test you, but this isn't necessarily saying that it'll get you. So, we're in the Gemini North Node. It's all about our choices and temptation, and then what we do. Because there's a degree of destiny, but there is also free will. So space, reflection, peace, and disruption. Space, reflection, peace, and disruption. Let's do disruption first. Like this shocking pink color, this card demands attention. It represents intensity, innovation, and nonconformity, Aquarius energy. It's a catalyst for releasing fear in order to make bold and courageous moves. What is stagnant in your life that needs to change? How can you shake things up a bit? How can you continuously innovate your life in unexpected and productive ways? So that is all Aquarius energy for sure. What needs to be shaken up, because Aquarius is, the fixed air. So what can you shake up a little bit to get you to the next stage? Because you're feeling a little bit isolated. So maybe you just need to do a little bit of an Aquarius disruption to kind of get to the next phase of what you're feeling, or of the journey. Peace. When shining light through a prism, all the colors are revealed in a rainbow. White light is a combination of every color within the visible spectrum working harmoniously together. When this card is drawn, it is an invitation to bring a sense of peace into your life. This may come to you after a period of turmoil as a sign of healing, or you may find it when the mind is quieted during a simple meditation, or when you are taking a moment to just stop and reflect. Open up your heart, Leo season, and let peace come to you. Accept this gentle offering of healing and stillness, with Aquarius being the still air. And right now is the Libra moon, which is like the gentle breeze. I feel like there's a lot of peace and harmony to Libra, the scales. So allow peace to come to you. Reflection. Some say that certain people or situations in your life act as mirrors that reflect back at you and teach you. What that mirror reveals can act as a source of inspiration, encouraging you to move forward. You may not like what you see, giving you the opportunity to make some important changes in your life. This card is a reminder of the importance of taking time to reflect and partake in some deep self-inquiry. What are the mirrors in your life trying to show you, and what can you learn from them? So maybe that's what I'm seeing here with, allowing that exploration of the fall from grace to teach you lessons that might be hard to learn, but that are necessary and will get you to a higher vibe once you work as you work through them. It's not just at the end that you learn; it's during the process. Space, Aquarius, the ghost. Interesting. You may feel alone and like you can get lost here, but it is important to remember that you can fill this space. What is it that you are looking to fill your life with? Is it certain types of people, new projects? How can you take action toward your goal? The void is only a temporary space and it's ready to be filled. So the void, very much, the ghost, Aquarius, that's relevant. And also feeling maybe a sense of isolation and maybe being lost. But what do you want to put in this space? When the space is blank, it means you can put a lot of stuff there. If it was jammed up with other stuff, then that would just be causing confusion and you don't know where to go if there's too much. But when there's nothing, you can also fill it with what feels meaningful for you, and maybe working towards these collaborations in love, relationships, creativity, resources can be a good way to do that. Just starting to work on a new project that feels meaningful for you. The moon card. I got a moon card for Aquarius. Is there someone to see, please? Whoa. My bad. I'll get them. Be bold and make the first move. So be bold. Innovation. Innovation. You're giving these. You're forgiving self and others, and you are acting as the water bearer, and you are really. This sign is just kind of telling me that you are really in your energy of innovation. And the still air is sometimes that's this space is the still air. So when the air is still, it allows actually haze to gather, which means that the air has to be still in order for seeing to be improved, so that you can really see the details of distant objects in space. It also allows haze to gather because the air is still, so the transparency decreases, but actually the seeing usually increases when there's haze, because that means that the air is still, and so there's not that turbulence that distorts the the visualization of seeing distant objects in space. So be bold and make the first move with that still air, so like you can really see far out and clear because there's space to see. You can see through the ghost. So be bold, strength card with your outcome here, and make the first move about whatever it is that you're thinking is where you should make a first move. I'll pick those cards instead. Get a German card for Aquarius. That's the first one I see on top, please. Too many. Wow. That was a little messy. So both these came out. The first one I was going to do passion for purpose and beyond the threshold of fear. Passion for purpose and beyond the threshold of fear. And that's interesting. I love when the color prism cards really follow the Rumi card colors, and I would say those are actually kind of similar. You got the black and the purple, and the gray and the pink. I will read both. Just briefly. 2, passion for purpose. Leo season, passion for purpose, passion. Love, like life, flows through the heart. Feel the thrill of the flow and say nothing. You yearn to find your way to fulfill your divine destiny, to know the purpose for your presence within the sacred body of the Earth Mother. Your heart is questing for deeper meaning, Leo season. It desires certainty as to your sacred tasks for this lifetime. Your heart wants to know why you were born, for what purpose. You must know that the answer to these questions is love. I bring you your answers straight from the heart of the universe. Be wild within your passion. Do that which stirs your soul even when it makes you uncomfortable, especially then, for what is being truly alive, if not a decision to be open instead of resistant, to be wild rather than comfortable, so that at any moment we will be ready for the invitation of the divine beloved to come closer. I call to you now, the one that is beyond your mind, the mind very much air of Aquarius, the you that the heart knows, the you that cannot deny life. To that you I ask this question: what stirs the passions of your nature? Do that, be that. So yeah, a lot of, during Leo season, a lot of energy for people to really be going towards that sense of divine, spark and passion that they're feeling. Because sometimes, it's the only way that, we can feel well. So go beyond the air mind to like what feels good in your heart, and like you do have this cup energy that you are very much exploring, and you are the water bearer, even as an air sign. Beyond the threshold of fear. Enter the lion's jungle, Leo season. Don't think about getting hurt. Fearful thoughts are phantoms of the mind. No one is harmed in this jungle. Everyone is compassion. Everything is compassion and love. It is your fear holding you back like a bar behind the door. How I celebrate for you. After so long away from home, you are finally returning. Beyond the threshold of fear, you dispense with your doubts, hesitations, cautions, and tentativeness. They are old friends with whom you no longer have anything in common. Aquarius, House of Friends. Goodbye, old friends, I wish you well, you say, whilst turning your face to the burgeoning light of a new and yet ancient world. You are visiting as though for the first time, and yet somehow also remember deep in your sacred heart. Finally, we can sit together in the charming courtyard at home. Leo season is also sort of like the masculine side of the home, sort of like the dad. We shall tell our tales of adventure and laugh, and we'll dance and sing. Eventually, days shall pass into night, and we'll gaze beneath our feet, our mouths gaping open in awe and minds utterly blank, rendered dumb in sweet submission to beauty as we watch the world spinning on her axis. So, moving towards, this challenging energy of the Three of Cups, maybe it's sort of feeling like it's hard to get towards that love energy, towards that, wanting to be with people again, maybe after feeling like this Hermit card in the reverse, taking like a lot of time and feeling a little bit of isolation. But this is a reading about reflecting, taking space, finding peace for yourself, but also like that little sense of fire that there's like is a little bit of something that does need to be disrupted, so that you can, explore new projects or new ideas. That's very much here within this reading. So move past your thoughts towards that water bearer energy that you naturally are, and find what sparks your passion, and maybe create a little bit of disruption to get towards that, but also, maybe not in a way that's too wild, also remembering the Saturn side, not just the Uranus side of Aquarius, and exploring the space to reflect and find what peace means for you. But like a little bit of disruption might need to kind of get you to feeling that sense of peace, because you were feeling like you are really fulfilling your destiny in this moment. So thank you for joining, Aquarius.